I think so often when we glamorize just wait for your season or it's your season, it takes away from the present, and it is what you are going through now in your present season that will be the navigation system to get you to your next season, your it season, your me season, your winning season. So without this present one, we can't have the next one. When you look at how the seasons change, I think it teaches us something about how we should experience change. Even when something is attached to my passions, there's still work involved. I think I don't subscribe to find what you love and do what you love and you will never work another day in your life. It just doesn't work like that. Like there is a certain level of productivity that is still required in your pursuit of passion. You're going to have to learn how to absorb pain without it completely debilitating you or making you numb. I understand that there's a certain amount of work that has to go with the faith, but God, am I doing the wrong work? Like, help me understand clearly what work needs to be done. And just learning to embrace that even in a season where it doesn't feel the most positive or progressive, this is still my season. This is my season to do the work. This is my season to experience and enjoy and learn to love the rain. It is okay for you to enjoy your life, even when your life isn't going as well as it has been going and as well as it will be going. Even in those moments of being down, being sad, being unsure, lacking faith, it is okay for you to still have pockets of peace. This one is for the millennial who is learning how to embrace life in every season. Let's go beneath the seams. Life can be so complex. The human experience is far more expansive than what we can see, and we spend so much time just trying to figure it out. We put on makeup, nice clothing, and we go out into the world trying to hold it all together. When beneath those seams, we are being ripped apart. Some of the ripping is self-inflicted, some of it is because of the pressure of society, but all of it is limiting. Limiting in our quest to just simply be who we truly are. We're more complex than we give ourselves credit for. We fill our brains with popular sayings like, oh, it ain't that serious, loosen up, or just live a little. But life in itself is a deep, non-surface level experience, and sometimes it can be pretty serious. So often we force ourselves to only exist at the surface, never allowing ourselves to be fully exposed. We let the layers pile up until the pressure becomes too much to bear, and then we rip. Sometimes into shreds, and a lot of the times in silence. Beneath means to go below the surface, and seams are what are supposed to keep us joined together. Because we are taught, no matter what, you just have to keep yourself together. We create this image, never letting people in, never going beneath the seams. I don't know if we ever get the answers we expect from life, but I'm starting to find peace in the process of just figuring it out. Instead of forcing the complexities of this human experience to be hidden, let's peel back the layers and go beneath them. Beneath the seams. A love letter to millennials who are just trying to figure it out. Beneath the Seams, the podcast, now available on all platforms. Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Beneath the Seams. I am your host, Kayla Riggins. Thank you so much for being here and journeying with me. Listen, this is the safe seat. This is the scene seat. This is the seat where I get all up in y'all business, y'all get all up in mine, and we have the tough conversations, the conversations that really expand our consciousness and grow us as people. And so I am enjoying having these conversations with you all, but let me be all the way honest with y'all out the gate. It was hard to show up to this seat today. I am in a space and I just found it really hard. I've been in my head a lot this week. And so I was like, we're going to skip this up. We're going to skip a week. We're going to have a bye week. And I was like, you know what? I owe it to myself to show up because I am in a season of consistency. Here I am. All right. Sometimes it's like, girl, put the dress on, do your hair, and go on out the door about your business and have a good time. So this is the equivalent of that today. Okay. The dress is on. I did my hair, and so here I am in the safe seat and in the scene seat. But y'all bear with me because I don't know. I'm in a mood. Like I'm just in a mood. I feel like last week's episode was fun. We had such a good time unpacking like everything that's going on in the 30s. And then this week, I don't know, I'm just plummeting a little bit. And I feel like that's definitely the ups and downs of life. So I'm trying not to be too hard on myself because y'all know how I can get. But in full transparency, I am just having a week. And so today's conversation, I asked for the Lord to give me the words because I don't really got them all. And so we gonna see how he uses me to get to you. Okay. And he probably gonna help me along the way too. All right. So let's get into it. So when I was preparing for today's show, I was thinking about the topics that I have outlined that I want to talk about. So I treat content creation and everything I do as a job, as something that's very serious to me because it is. And so I have a master list of topics that I'm consistently working on and that I want to get to. And so my process is to pick from those topics, flush them out, make my notes, and then pick the days that I'm going to record them. But every now and then I do a toss up topic, which means it is whatever is on my heart that week. And I really like those weeks because it just gives me flexibility to always be in flow. It takes some of the organization and structure out of creating content and out of podcasting. And it allows God to speak through me in terms of what I'm going through and what you guys are going through and what people need to hear. And so this week, nonetheless, is definitely a toss up week. This is not a topic that I pre-planned or had written down to do an episode about. And so I kind of want to speak from a space of, and this is definitely in direct relation to what I'm going through, but I kind of want to speak from the space of every season is your season. And so that came to me. I told y'all sentences and sound bites and phrases come to me creatively. I think it's a way of my creative being able to articulate and illustrate my ideas to myself. It's always like a phrase or a sound bite or something catchy. And so I was having a very up and down kind of week. And I was like, man, I keep waiting on my season. Like I feel like I'm doing the work, but I'm waiting on my season and I'm just getting a little weary in the wait. And I heard a voice, and so I'm going to take it to be the voice of God say to me, girl, every season is your season. And I was like, oh, what that mean? I was like, ooh, like it was just so loud. It was so bold. I was like, every season is my season. And so I started to sit with the different feelings that I was having. And I started to think about what it's your season means, right? Like, where did I get that from? Was it something that I was making up in my head? Where did I get this idea of waiting for it to be my turn and waiting for it to be my season? And I think culturally, we hype up this idea of your season is coming, or girl, it's going to be your turn. You just wait. You just watch and see. There's a lot of that on the internet. You guys see the meme going around right now where everybody's saying what I want wants me. So when you think about like culturally manifestation and all of those things, it's your season or it's me season. Issa Rae started that a few years ago. It has become very trendy. And I think I started to get caught up in waiting for my season, but not patiently waiting. And so that thought came to me very clearly. And I was like, I heard it very clear. Girl, every season, literally in with that, the girl and everything. Y'all know I feel like God talks to me how I talk to myself. And so I heard the voice say, girl, every season is your season. And that's what I kind of want to word vomit, like go with me. This is just my raw feelings and emotions. But I am trying to embrace that every season is my season. Because I'm going through a really tough time, I keep waking up waiting for the out. Like just waiting for the day for something drastic to happen and for it to be better. But I'm learning that I have to embrace the season that I'm in to even enjoy when it gets better. I think so often when we glamorize just wait for your season or it's your season, it takes away from the present, and it is what you are going through now in your present season that will be the navigation system to get you to your next season, your it season, your me season, your winning season. So without this present one, we can't have the next one. And I think that's just what I'm trying to embrace. And so as I got that thought, I started thinking through what the seasons mean literally. Like we have spring, summer, winter, fall. There's farming season. There's hunting season. And I think that how we are supposed to navigate life is all around us. Like it's written in the natural order of things. So when you bird watch and you watch how birds, like I'm finna nerd out, y'all. I'm finna geek out a little bit. Stay with me. But when you watch how birds live in their natural habitat, I think it teaches us something about how we should live. When you look at how the seasons change, I think it teaches us something about how we should experience change. And a lot of times as human beings, because we are too distracted by life's things, not bad things, but we're distracted with the things that come with being human, we don't get a chance to just exist in nature like the trees and like the birds, right? Them birds ain't got no job. Okay, them trees ain't got to pay no damn bills. So they are able to just exist how God intended them to be. But as human beings, I feel like there are so many other outside factors, so much noise that gets in the way of us being able to clearly understand how things are supposed to take their course. So anyway, not to get all National Geographic Science Channel on y'all, but I do, from a spiritual perspective, really take advantage of observing the things that are around me. And so when you think about seasons, you have winter, summer, spring, and fall, and each season brings a different thing in terms of what you can see. So in the summer, you see the sun a lot. You see beautiful leaves on the trees, right? In the winter, you don't really see the sun a lot. Like it's gloomy, a lot of gloomy days. It's cold. In the autumn, you see beautiful colors changing, right? In the fall on the leaves. And then in the spring, you see flowers start to sprout and grow that you had kind of forgotten about because you've been thugging it out through winter and fall. And so that's how I started to think about my life and my circumstances, is that just because you are seeing things differently, it doesn't mean it's not leading to the ultimate goal, right? Everything is going to come back around. There's going to be rain, there's going to be sunshine, there's going to be day, there's going to be night. And so when I started thinking about how I need to learn how to better embrace my life in every season, because I be down. I be really like, I have a hard time accepting that there will be bad times. I have a hard time accepting that there will be hard times, if I'm being honest. And in this space, this is where I'm really learning, like, you cannot have it rainbows and sunshine all the time. And it's like, I've known that for some years now, but really understanding how to navigate and deal with that is something that is brand new to me. And so when I think about what I'm going through, the pain that I'm experiencing, it brings me back to this quote by Valerie Jarrett. So she was, y'all know her from the Obama administration, and now she's the, I think the CEO of his foundation. I just finished a program called 1 Million Women, 1 Million Black Women in Business with Goldman Sachs. And at our graduation in New York in June, she spoke at the graduation ceremony. And she said, and it will probably stick with me for life, she said, you're going to have to learn how to absorb pain without it completely debilitating you or making you numb. And that just spoke to me so loudly, because I think when I am going through pain, sometimes it does debilitate me. And then sometimes it also makes me numb. And it was just like, girl, you're going to have to figure out how to get with it. I also love her word choice. You know, I love words because I'm a scholar, but I love when people use very specific words. And the specificity of the word absorb really resonated with me too. She didn't say experience pain. She said absorb. And to me, that means to take it in. Like, you're going to have to learn how to carry it with you without it completely breaking you down and paralyzing you and making you numb and making you not show up to the plate. And so today is a living example of me resisting the urge to be numb or to be debilitated and not show up to what's going on and what I need to focus on because of the pain that I'm experiencing in my life. So when I think about going back now, tying it into the different seasons, I started to think about how there's a season for reaping, there's a season for sowing, right? And when you think about the farmers and like traditional harvest, and each season they do a different thing. And so I'm really big in this season of my life. See what we did there, all of these seasons. I'm really big on making sure that when I'm going through these things, that I actively seek tools to help me get better. So I don't just sit in the feeling. Like the other night, I literally Googled I literally Googled, hold on, I don't want to mess it up. The other night, I literally Googled, how do you pray when you don't know what to say? Literally type that into Google. It auto filled it out. So that means I ain't the only one having that wonder. Okay. I literally was like, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what's going on with me, but I feel like this extreme amount of disconnection. And I remember walking around this past week, because y'all know I be in this house by myself, working things out with myself. I was walking around the house and I was like, I understand that there's a certain amount of work that has to go with the faith, but God, am I doing the wrong work? Like, help me understand clearly what work needs to be done. And then in that same time, in talking to God, and I was in the kitchen cooking, so it wasn't like intentional sit down prayer time. Y'all know I'm in a space where I'm really making God a part of my life in all ways. So in order for me to pray or spend time with God, I don't need to sit down to do it, right? I make sure that I'm doing it while I'm driving, while I'm cooking, while I'm in the shower, etc. And so I also said, God, the Bible says, seek you with all of my heart, right? And you will give me the desires of my heart. And so I'm like, well, God, am I seeking you wrong? Like, am I seeking you incorrectly? These are the things that I'm asking out loud. And that's when it started to become clear to me when we talk about that faith without work is dead. And I asked God, I said, well, am I doing the correct work? I'm realizing that in this season, my work is to be consistent. In this season, I have to experience a little bit of pain. It is storming outside for me, but rain is a necessary part of sunshine. We can't have one without the other. So in order for these seeds that I'm planting to grow, it's going to have a little rain. And that just kind of shook me up a little bit. I ain't gonna hold you. That, child, we might have to cut that out. Hold on. Let's get it together, Kayla. Let's get it together. Whew. I asked for God to give me the words today, and I think he is in real time answering that prayer. But it's storming. Come on, mascara. Hold on, y'all. Hey, girl. I know. You like, Kayla, what are you doing interrupting my episode? I know you had your snacks and you was all in it, but hear me out. After this episode is over, I don't want the conversation to end here. So I want to invite you. This is your exclusive invitation to be a part of my community because you are my people. And that's the name of my Patreon community, my people. So over there, you get access to exclusive content. We have monthly virtual dates where we connect and we have these real conversations. We keep the topics going. You get to have Q&A with me. You also get to meet and connect with each other. And pretty soon, some events are going to be happening too. So if this is your type of content, if you like deep conversations, if you want to create meaningful connections that really just help us be more of ourselves and be better to each other so that we can really experience the beauty that is life, I want you over there a part of my people because we see each other. Okay. So make sure you click that link, join my Patreon community, and I will see you over there. Listen, don't meet me there, beat me there. Okay. All right, go ahead, pick your snack back up, get back to the episode. Okay, so while it is storming outside for me right now, it is watering the seeds that I am planting. And so I am changing my mindset on how I'm viewing this storm and how I'm viewing the rain. I need this rain for my harvest. If it did not rain, my seeds would dry out. They wouldn't grow. And so I'm just learning to embrace that even in a season where it doesn't feel the most positive or progressive, this is still my season. This is my season to do the work. This is my season to experience and enjoy and learn to love the rain. And so I got really like in my bag on this one, like started Googling around and stuff. And I wanted to take some notes and share with you guys in terms of making this make sense creatively as well. And so when you think about the different seasons, the farmers, let's take the farmers, right? And I don't know if it's I don't know what they do in the summer. I don't know what they do in the fall. I don't know what they do in the spring. I don't know the exact, like in the spring they harvest, in the fall they do this, but somewhere in these 4 seasons, these actions happen. And so in one season, they are doing the work. So this is the season of harvest. This is where they are planting the seeds. In another season, they're resting and they're reflecting on what they've done. And then they're preparing and planning. And then in another season, there's a growth season. They start to see the fruits of their labor, new beginnings, new harvests, new flowers, new cattle, new fruits, new vegetables, all of those things. And then in another season, they are strictly picking and experiencing and enjoying and reaping the benefits of what they did. They are seeing the fruits of their labor. And so I wanted to be able to understand from the science and the farmer's perspective more creatively what those different seasons meant to me. And so this is what I came up with. And so when you are in a season of doing the hard work, that's the harvest, that's you're planting the seeds, that's when things feel really, really hard and heavy. It's kind of storming in those seasons as well, but it's still your season because it's your season to do the work. I am realizing that even when something is attached to my passions, there's still work involved. I think I don't subscribe to find what you love and do what you love and you will never work another day in your life. That might sound good metaphorically, but the way I live in America and the way capitalism and these bills is set up, it just doesn't work like that. Like there is a certain level of productivity that is still required in your pursuit of passion. And that is what I am working on. And so in this season of doing the hard work, I am focusing on being productive in my pursuit of passion. And so I'm planting seeds. I'm doing things to really grow myself, grow my brand, and grow everything around me. And that's why everything feels so hard and heavy, is because I'm plowing. I'm out here planting. I'm doing things that, and obviously that is metaphorically speaking, because you see the material. I'm in nobody's garden. I'm not doing any manual labor. I am not raking anything, digging. I'm not playing around in dirt. Obviously, I'm speaking metaphorically, right? But yes, metaphorically, I am out here really pounding the pavement, digging through the dirt, and doing the hard things for my harvest. And so when you think about the next season, and again, this is not in the specific order of which farmers farm, just stay with me here. I'm just using it metaphorically. And so in the next season, we talk about rest, right? Reflection and preparation and planning. And there was a time where I would feel so guilty for resting. I posted a collage on my Instagram stories. No, it wasn't my stories. It was in feed maybe like a week or two ago. And one of the memes that I shared, it said, don't feel guilty for enjoying your life. And I think because I am in a space where things are not so positive for me, like I am in need of a miracle. And so because of that, I think when there are moments to go to somebody's birthday dinner or to go out and enjoy some time with friends, I feel like I shouldn't be focusing on that. Like I should be figuring out how to make my money, how to further my career. I should be figuring out how to do things that affect my bottom line. And I feel guilty for just sitting outside and simply having a good time. And so for that one, even when you are in a season of rest, it's a season of reflection. Like it is okay for you to enjoy your life, even when your life isn't going as well as it has been going and as well as it will be going. Even in those moments of being down, being sad, being unsure, lacking faith, it is okay for you to still have pockets of peace. And that's what I'm working on within myself, is not being so hard on, you have no business going to that concert. You have no business going to that wedding. You shouldn't be outside chilling by the pool. Like really beating myself up about experiencing joy in the midst of the storm. And so that's what I got from the rest and reflection piece. And then I love the preparation and planning, because when you are harvesting, when you are a farmer, you have to be abreast of what is to come. You have to get ahead of things. And so a lot of times in quiet time, we get very antsy when we're resting and we're like, I feel like I should be working on something. But sometimes that something doesn't have to be super significant. It doesn't have to be something that really moves the needle forward, but just those quiet preparations and planning, those small steps that you can take to prepare yourself for when your harvest is complete, right? When you have the fruit. And for me, I think things are going to be big. Things are going to be, I don't want to say back to how they used to be, because I believe that I serve a God where things will always get bigger and better and greater. But I know that there is a calling over my life where things will progress for me in a way that it's going to require and demand a lot more of me. Right now, it's very quiet in my life. Like my day-to-day It's not rigorous. I'm not traveling a lot. I'm not doing a lot of mental gymnastics. Now, I'm also not making a lot of money. So there's that, right? That's the stress piece. But it's quiet for me. And I want to be able to take advantage of this quiet time, because there's going to be a time where I'm traveling a lot again. There's going to be a time where there's more demand. I'm going to have more clients. I'm going to have more speaking engagements. I am speaking those things over my life. And so in these moments, I'm trying to prepare for having the capacity when those things ramp up again. And so that's my preparing and planning. And then your growth season, of course, that's new beginnings. So when spring comes, I'm just using that as an example, when we start to see those little flowers grow that we have forgotten about, that's when things are usually good for us. We love new beginnings. But what I'm learning is that with new beginnings, and I got this from the Farmer's reference when I was reading about it, with new beginnings comes maintenance. So now we have these crops, right? We have this harvest and we've nurtured it and it's grown all the way into a new season and new beginnings. But now we have to maintain that new crop and that new harvest. And that looks like washing the dirt off the apples, maybe picking the worms out the collard greens, right? That's in the physical sense. But spiritually and emotionally, I have to make sure that I am maintaining and being a good steward over what God has given me. I have to be a good steward over answered prayers. And I think in this season, I needed time to realize this, because so often when God answers our prayers or we get what we've been working so hard for, we boss up. And we're ready to move on. And it's like, yeah, I did that. I'm her. Okay. I'm that girl. And there is a level of reflection that is required, in my opinion, at least, for you to constantly be in tune with your core and with your gut so that you can maintain what you have. Being in a place where I have lost it all. I've kind of lost a lot recently. I'm realizing now that I didn't do a good job at properly maintaining what I had. And so when you are in a maintenance season, you need to make sure that you stay grounded, whatever that looks like for you spiritually, whatever that is for you, staying grounded in the maintenance season. And then when you're reaping the fruits of your labor, right? So this is where you're able to take those new flowers, those new projects, and now they are lucrative. They're beneficial. So of course, in farming, now it's time to eat the fruit. Now it's time to go cook the collard greens, baby. Thanksgiving is here, okay? That's what it looks like in a farming sense. But in terms of like actual life, because I don't know about y'all, but I'm not a farmer. In terms of actual life, now it's time to go and use the abundance that I have from doing the work to make my life better. And that may look like, buying a new car. That may look like buying new clothes. It may look like treating myself to a spa day. And so that's what that season looks like when you are in a new season of abundance, right? The fruits of your labor. And so when you think through those 4 seasons, let's recap again: doing the work, the hard work, that's the planting the seeds, rest, reflection, preparation, growth, new beginnings, maintenance, and then the fruits of your labor, those 4 seasons. Every season is your season. If you switch your mindset to, I'm not just waiting for the fruits of my labor. I'm not just waiting for me season. I'm not just waiting for these crops to complete their harvest, but in doing the work, that's also my season. Because when I make it to the other side, I can be proud that this wasn't handed to me, that I worked for this, that I have the record, the social proof to show that I deserve all of the things that I have. So even in being in the season of doing the work, it's still my season, right? And so when you think about the other example, rest, reflection, and preparation. When you are resting, I always say that there is reward in rest. And I'm trying to be better at stillness and silence and things being okay. I'm okay with the silence, like in the literal aspect, meaning I spend a lot of time by myself. I can be in here by myself for days and be fine. I tell y'all all the time, I'm an only child. So being alone, being silent, that's nothing new to me. But I'm talking about the silence in terms of the activity of your life when your days aren't filled with as much activity, right? And so that's also your season. Like, it's my season to rest. It's my season to reflect. It's my season to plan for what is to come. And so when you think about the next one, which is the growth season and the maintenance season. So now I've grown all of these things because I've done the work, and now it's my season to bloom. Now it's my season to maintain the work that I've put in. And then, of course, when you are experiencing the fruits of your labor, to me, that is what culture refers to as me season. That is what, when people say it's your season, well, what that was, Nene said, I have arrived and the spotlight is on me. That was her tagline one season of The Housewives. And so when you think about that culturally, that's when we like to say and declare, oh, this is my season. But the reality of it is, every single season is yours. And if you switch your mindset and you start to think about how you can own and have power over what's going on in every season, it really makes you experience a more blooming, beautiful life overall. Now, again, this is my life and my salvation. I tell y'all all the time, if anything I say don't resonate with you, baby, eat the meat, throw out the bone, or vice versa, whatever you got to do. But this is where I am. And like I said at the beginning of this episode, I had a very rough week and a rough time showing up to this seat. And I'm not really ready to talk about the meat of it. Like, I'm waiting on a different season to really tell y'all like the nickels and dimes of what's going on, because I will. But just know that I'm committing to this act of obedience. And I hope that in some way these conversations help you and encourage you to do the same in your own life. I think one of the things that I really value in this season is intimacy and community. And I think that's what may have me in kind of a mood as well. The intimate relationships in my life are in flux. And so that is definitely weighing on me. And then from a community aspect, with my business and just online, I have completely shifted the way I show up, finally being obedient to what I want to do. And with that comes a lot of change. You really have to kind of brand yourself, right? And so just seeing the shifts in my content, seeing the shifts in the way things are received, a lot of great things, a lot of good things, but there are also some things that I've just really been in my head about. And so I just want to be intentional about fostering more community and making sure that I can be helpful to people in some way, right? And even if it's in some small way. And so just to share a little bit about what I was in my head about this week, struggling a little bit with worthiness, struggling a little bit with feeling like it's too late. Those are some of the just hellish, devilish thoughts that were very intrusive this week. So y'all pray for me as I grow within my strength within the Lord. Okay. Like they say in the old Baptist church. I said on today's episode that I wasn't going to keep y'all long. And now I feel like, you know how the Baptist preachers be like, I ain't going to keep you long. And then an hour and a half later, you still there. But yeah, I just wanted to be obedient, show up to this seat because I made a commitment to myself. I made a commitment to God that we would partner together with this. I read y'all's comments. I know that, you guys are enjoying it. That is helpful. Please keep them coming. Please keep sharing when something resonates with you. It is not lost on me, your support. That shit means more than you will ever understand. And so it's a mutually beneficial relationship. As long as I can show up here and it can help y'all, that is worth it. So it's not lost on me. I will say though, and I've just been consistent with YouTube again this year, and I've had the most success with it this year being consistent. So I'm not complaining, but I do think it's interesting. Like a video will get maybe 800 views and it'll have 5 comments. So I don't know if that's the building factor of YouTube, and I just need to wait for people to start talking to me, or if y'all just ain't got nothing to say, y'all just listening and that's it. But talk to me, y'all. Talk back to me. I enjoy having these conversations. I want to be in community with you. I want to be able to have real Q&A. And so I want you to join my group chat, join my people so that we can have these conversations offline. There are some other layers that I want to elaborate on about this episode in particular, but I want to do it inside of my private community and within community. So, yeah, leave a comment, y'all. Talk back to me because I'd be like, now they watching, but they ain't saying nothing. What's tea? I don't know. Y'all let me know, okay? Let me know in the comments, which brings me to the next part of the show, which is beneath the comments. So this is the part of the show where you guys are encouraged to tell me what you're going through. You can share episode topics, ideas, tell me what you liking, tell me what you're not liking. Somebody a few weeks ago was like, I love this conversation so much. This is well produced, but can you give us another camera angle? And I was like, sis, I got you. It's coming. I'm doing the best I can, but what I got. But I love any type of suggestions, creative suggestions about the pod, and also just conversations that you want to hear. What are you going through? Things that you want to talk about. I'm always down to share the perspectives. So beneath the comments this week, also y'all, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please take a minute, stop what you're doing and leave a review. The reviews over there are struggling. I know y'all tired of hearing me sing every week, but I'm gonna be doing it until we get the reviews up, and they are not struggling. Okay. So if you find it in your heart, it helps other people find the pod and find these conversations. So leave a review over there if you will, please. And thank you very much. Okay. So beneath the comments this week, this comment comes from Buffy Summers 2904. She said, love this episode so much. It's something about once I passed the 30 mark late last year, I was at first scared, but I felt like it was the end. But half a year later, I realized that the lies fed to me by the world caused me to feel this way. She said, I have never felt more secure about myself, never been so gentle to myself. I feel love when I look at myself in my eyes and in the mirror. My 20s were mental hell and self-hatred, comparison, avoiding my reflection. I think 30 is where my life truly begins now, especially for women who all their lives are dragged down and made to feel worthless by society. I realize my power as a creator, and she put in parentheses, a woman, and I am so excited to see what the 30s what the 30s and every decade beyond has in store. And so I love this comment so much. So this was on last week's episode, which was titled Every Single Thing I'm Loving About the 30s. And I really wanted to highlight her comment because I loved how she said, I look into the mirror and I see love in my eyes. That was so deep and so poetic. Y'all know I love a wordsmith. Y'all know I love when people have a way with words. But to me, that was a beautiful illustration of talking about self-love, how she now really sees herself differently and loves herself differently. And then I also love how she talked about, she realized when she turned 30 that the way she felt about herself was due to the world. And y'all know that is heavily what a lot of the undertones and overtones of this podcast is about. Unlearning the behaviors and unlearning who we were taught to be and becoming who we were actually meant to be. Unlearning all of these things that the world put on us and told us about what was good, bad, wrong, right, ugly, beautiful, and really just embracing who you are. But it starts with doing this work of learning who you actually are. And so I loved that comment a lot. And so thank you so much for being here and thank you for interacting. And then the next comment is from KP13ZZZ. And she says, I mean, divine timing. Thank you for saying every single thing you did here. This video was affirming, light, and playful. I appreciate your energy. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. And thank you so much for saying that. Thank you for feeling my energy through the camera. I put a lot of effort into this, y'all. Like, if you can't tell, I put work into the pod. And so when people leave comments like that, they are very affirming. And I love that she said that episode was light and playful because that's what I was going for. Because I know I be sitting here being so deep. Isaiah be like, child, I be trying to catch up on the podcast, but whew, I gotta be in the mood, which I understand. Isaiah's one of the executive producers. And so I understand needing to be in the mood because I be needing to be in the mood too, y'all. And it's my podcast. So I definitely understand that the things that we talk about can really make you reflect and make you go deeper and be introspective. But I am fun. And, you know, there is a bubbly, energetic side of me that is actually at the core of who I am. Like, I be talking shit and having fun most of the time. And so I wanted to make sure that I brought that to last week's episode. And even in between some of these conversations, I still like to, crack my jokes and just be myself. I am loving, okay, in this life, in this part of life. I always say this is the part of the show where I want to hear from y'all no matter what's going on. What are you loving the most about life right now? And so what I'm loving the most about life right now is making sense of my feelings, being able to identify and pinpoint exactly why I'm feeling a certain type of way, and then the courage that I have to go and find information to put action steps behind making sure I don't rot and sit in it. And so I'm proud of me for maybe learning to absorb pain without it completely debilitating me or making me numb. To go back to that quote from earlier, I don't want to be a person who just sits in stuff, and sometimes I can have seasons where I do. And so I'm proud of myself, and I'm enjoying that right now in life. No matter what's going on, I'm not sitting in it, and I'm still choosing to show up. And so I'm in a show up season. We want to talk about seasons. I'm in my show up season. Okay. So I want to know from y'all in the comments, what are you showing up to? What are you committing to? What are you being consistent with? What season are you in your life? Because every season is yours. Okay. So it's your season, no matter if it's raining outside or if the sun is shining, whatever is going on, it's your season. And so I just want to hear more from y'all about what season you're in and how you're navigating through it. All right, y'all, I'm going to go finish this conversation with my people. That is my private community. So come on over and join the group chat, okay? Be a part of my people. If anything that I've ever said has resonated with you, I want you there. I want you to be a part of my community so that we can keep these conversations going. We're going to have Zoom calls when I ain't looking like this, when I ain't camera ready. We're just going to shoot the shit and have really authentic conversations. And so I want you to be a part of that, okay? So that will do it for this episode of Beneath the Seams. Listen, no matter where you are in life, no matter what season that you are currently going through, no matter what you are navigating, I want you to know that every season is your season. And even when you are weary, sad, unsure, conflicted, my wish for you, my prayer for you is that you simply find peace in the process of just figuring it out. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.